Hey lovelies, hope all is well with everyone. I'm back and I'm going to show you how to do chicken Caesar salad my way. Obviously I know I've got a few people on here that are vegetarians, vegans and all of the above. Feel free to, as always, substitute. You don't actually have to add the chicken to this. You can totally freestyle it how you want. You can use tofu or whatever meat alternatives there are that you want to use. First off, I have got my lettuce here. I'm using the Romaine lettuce, but you can also use the gem lettuce. They've got baby gem lettuce. I think you get 2 of these in a pack in the supermarket for probably about £2 max. If you're obviously going to go to, you know, one of the expensive supermarkets, it might cost a bit more, but it shouldn't cost you, you know, too much more than that. So behind here, I don't know if you can see, I've got a container, a bowl rather, with salt and water in there, and then I've got my colander in there that I'm gonna add my lettuce in, and obviously as you can see it will just drain straight out. I usually soak my lettuce in salt and water first to just get rid of any impurities or anything like that from it, you know, and it also adds to the flavour. So that's that. So I'm just going to show you guys how I cut up the lettuce for it. You don't have to follow it this way. If you do it a different way, perfect, you do that. But I'm just going to show you how I do it for those who probably don't know how to. So that's the lettuce first off. That's how it looks. Might be bigger than that, might be smaller than that. If you get the gem lettuce, they are smaller than the Romaine ones, so just bear that in mind. So I'll just turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So literally just going across and just cutting that up. So that's what I'm doing, adding it to the salt water in the bowl, and then I'll continue from there. So I've got 2 of these in the pack, and I've already cut up one and had in the bowl before I came on. So I'm just showing you the second one. So I cut it rough. It doesn't matter what size, you know, you just do it whatever size. It doesn't have to be equal or anything like that, just rough. Obviously, if you're doing it for children, you might want to do it a bit bigger so they can pick up and do whatever they're doing. So that's pretty much that. And then you just want to press it down. I'm using a knife, don't mind me. Use your hand if you want. And just pressing it down so that it's all immersed into the salt water. And then soaking. So I'm just going to leave that for the duration of me preparing everything else. And then we'll drain off the water and then just rinse it with plain cold water once that's done. In here is cold water. I literally just ran the tap until it was practically freezing cold, and then filled up the bowl with water about halfway, and then put the colander in there. And now obviously I've added the lettuce. So I'm going to go off, set up, and then show you guys the next stage. Right, love, so for those who are going to actually use the chicken, the next stage is to season the chicken, seal it off and get it in the oven. So before you start doing this process, you're going to want to put your oven to preheat on 180 degrees, and you need it to heat up for probably about 15 minutes beforehand. If you haven't gotten shop bought croutons, then in that time whilst you're prepping your chicken would be a good time to put your croutons in the oven. I've actually got a tutorial of how I make my croutons, so I will link that below as well, so you have that accessible to you. But if you're gonna use shop bought ones, you don't need to worry about that, although it is cheaper and a lot more tasty to make your own. So to this here, I am going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. By the way, I've got 5 chicken breasts here. You don't have to use this much. Obviously I'm cooking for quite a few people, so you can use a smaller amount of chicken breast, it's up to you, in which case obviously alter the amount of seasoning that you're using. And other than that, if you have underlying health issues or any of the above, please make sure that you do the recipe to how your diet is set up. So I'm going to use half teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning. I use the Dunn's River one. The ground black pepper, I just literally use whatever one I can get hold of. At the moment, I'm using the Tesco one. So that's the one I've got. Right, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of jack seasoning, dried one, by the way. For those of you who want to complain, a seasoning is a seasoning. There's no specific way to use it, it's just a mixture of dried stuff, okay? So yeah, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of paprika, not too much. You can use any paprika you've got. So I'm just putting not much in there and just sprinkle it all around. And then I'm going to tip a bit of oil in there, because I'm not going to put any oil in the frying pan. I'm just going to put it in with the chicken now. I'm just going to pour over a bit in there. For those of you who got a bottle, a smaller bottle that you can control better with a spoon, that was roughly 3 tablespoons of sunflower oil. So that's what I've used in there. So I'm just going to go off, rub that all in, and then prepare to seal the chicken and then show you the next steps. Okay loves, so I've gone off camera and just made sure that I rubbed in all the seasoning and everything and the oil and that. And I've now got a small frying pan on a high heat. Well, it's on the biggest burner on a medium heat, as you can hear. So I've just literally got that warming up, and then I'm just going to add my chicken breast to it. Obviously I've already put oil with the chicken breast whilst I was seasoning it up, so I'm not going to add any more oil to the frying pan, because I don't want to fry the chicken breast. I literally just want it to have a nice little coating so that it's not dry and sticking to the pan. So I'm literally just going to add the chicken breast to the pan and just show you what I'm doing. Ooh. Okay, definitely not that. Trying to do it. There it goes. So you literally just want to get as many of them as possible in the pan. So you're not trying to put them through whilst you've got them on the heat. You're literally just trying to just get the outside of it done and give it a bit of colour. Obviously if you just put it straight in the oven, chances are it won't get much colour. So that's all we're trying to do here. Let's keep the heat high. So I'm going to do it on both sides, and then I've got a baking tray, or you can use Pyrex dish or whatever. So I've got a Pyrex dish tray that I've got prepared to put my chicken in. It's just for the side of the camera here. And then I'm gonna, once the 2 sides are coloured properly, then I'm gonna put it in the oven. Like I said, I've preheated the oven now. It's been going for about 15 minutes and it's on 180 degrees. I've got a fan oven. For those of you who are visiting for the first time, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. So that's going. So when it goes in, it will be able to put the middle of the chicken. So this is where we're at now, and I'm just gonna finish that off, and then I'll come back and show you guys exactly how I'm going to build the chicken after that. Right, so I've turned over the chicken breast now. So basically the two sides, top and bottom, have been done. And then I'm going to put them on the sides to just brown those up as well. So just to show you guys, that's roughly what it should be looking like. And then once I finish browning all the sides off, I'm going to put the chicken breast in the carrot juice, put it in the oven, and just leave the middle of it to cook through. Please do remember the middle of it is still raw, so it needs time to cook through. Depending on the size of your chicken breast, it will need more or less time. So I'm not going to actually give you an amount of time that you cook it for. Obviously, you know, you slice into the middle of it to check that it's been cooked through. So brown off all the sides, put it in your carrot juice, put it in the oven, and then I would say leave it for definitely at least 15 minutes, and then check on it to make sure that it's cooked through. But you need to check from the center of it to make sure that it's cooked. Right guys, so I'm going to teach you how to make the sauce for the chicken Caesar salad or Caesar salad. So first of all, I'm going to put mayo in. I've literally just got the normal full fat Hellman's mayo. You can use whatever mayo you have. You don't have to use this one. I just happen to have this one today. So I'm going to do 6 tablespoons of that. Heaped tablespoons, by the way. Then you literally have one job. One job. And 6. So do 6 of those. I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. Don't worry if you put a bit more, it doesn't really matter. I've literally thrown an extra one in over the sides. So I'm just going to stop there. And then to that, I'm literally just going to add a sprinkle of ground black pepper. You can use white pepper, you can use whatever you want, it's up to you. This is just to add a bit of flavour to it, not too much. And then I'm going to add cheese. Really, you should use Parmesan cheese, but with what's going on in the supermarkets right now, I actually can't find any in my local supermarket. So I've got this one here, which is similar. So that will have to do for now. But if you are doing it and you can get access to the normal Parmesan cheese, do use it. It just is a lot better for your Caesar salad. So I'm just going to put some in. It's up to you how much of the cheese you use, by the way. I use a lot because I like a lot of cheese, but I know some people don't fancy a lot of cheese. Some people don't care for it. You don't actually have to particularly use this brand of cheese. You can use whatever one you can get from your supermarket. Obviously, this one says that it's suitable for vegetarians. If you're a vegan or any of the above, please find something that is suitable for you. Read the packaging before you buy it. So I'm literally just going to mix this in. And then that is the sauce done. That's all it takes, literally. Just make sure you give it a good mix so everything is incorporated properly. If you want it more tangy, then you can add more of the white wine vinegar to it. If you want it more spicy, do feel free to add more black pepper to it. So you just want to mix it until the lumps and clumps go. And then all you're going to do following that is just assemble your salad. Sorry, baby girl has decided that she is not happy tonight with how she's being fed. So she's over there crying. Yeah guys, so that's it. You can see a few grains in there. That is literally just from the cheese that I've added in. So that's all done now. You just refrigerate it. If this is too much, obviously just cut the ingredients in half and then use half of that. And as you know, you can freestyle it. You can add paprika if you want, you can add whatever, but for the most part this is pretty much how I do it. So I'm gonna go off camera, assemble everything, and then I will show you how it's done. Obviously, like I said earlier, I've got the salad, or the lettuce rather, cut up in the salt water, just waiting, and I'm gonna literally lift the colander out of the bowl, drain off the salt water, and then I'm gonna rinse it properly in the colander with cold water, just plain cold water from the tap, and after that leave it to drain and then assemble. So yeah, that's it. That's how you do it. I'll show you guys after I've assembled it, and that's it. Alright, lovely. So I've gone off camera, literally finished up everything, and then I'm going to show you how I assemble it all. I wasn't going to, but thought might as well. So I've had my lettuce draining. Now I've obviously washed it off and everything. So I'm literally just going to put it on the plate. It's up to you how much you want. You can have as much or as little lettuce as you want. There is no set guideline as to how much you need to eat. So I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm going to sprinkle some more of the cheese. I've just left some there, so I'm just going to sprinkle some over the cheese there. Again, if you want to have it, you can have it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Add as much or as little as you want. I'm going to put in the croutons now. So you just sprinkle them around randomly, doesn't matter, there's no specific method. Again with this one, just gonna add as much or as little as you want. With the chicken, I've literally obviously checked that it's cooked, sliced it up, and the chicken is hot and not too long to get out of the oven. It's not dry and obviously not undercooked, so that is perfect. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out of it. Still hot, like I said, I just took it out of the oven. So quite generous amounts there, and then I'm just going to add some of the sauce that I made earlier over, and then that pretty much is it. You can assemble it how you want. You don't necessarily have to put the chicken on last or the sauce on last or whatever. You can do it how you want. You can put the chicken at the bottom, you can do however you want. It's totally up to you. You don't have to have your sauce all over the salad as well. My husband does not like his salad covered with the sauce. He just has his on the side, so that's up to you. But pretty much that's all it is. So yeah, it's that quick and easy to do. I would be finished this roughly in say 30 minutes tops to do all of it. But today, obviously, as I'm instructing and showing you guys how I do it, it's taken a bit longer. To make the chicken breast bit a bit quicker, you can also cover it with foil before you put it in the oven, in the Pyrex dish or the tray or whatever you want to use. That will just help to trap the heat in and cook it a lot quicker. So, guys, that's it. Have a good day, stay home, stay safe, unless you need to go out or you're a key worker, guys.